It's always an excitement because it's due to something or the other. But bottom line is we are live. Let me just confirm that quickly. Yes, indeed, I can confirm that we are live. Family, July 2023. This is not the TN TV Media Empire. We should have gone live some 45 minutes ago. So the time now I can put on is 22:45. So this very, very accurate 22:47 inside. I mean 10:47 should have gone live some 47 minutes ago. Apologies for that, but we will make them quick, snappy, and just. So can I just say once more that this na the TNN Media Empire Fambulem. Today na the 20 July 2023. Me where they talk to una. Now my name Prince Emil Chroma. And we just want to rub mouth on a few issues them quickly, because it's a duty while we keep Sierra Leonean people updated on waiting they go on. So I they ask una, please do not touch that dial, and also please help to share. Thank you very much. A quick podcast. And I will try to forget to the. I'm not going to waste your time. But once again, I ask when I say, please share a particular program. All right. The fact that we viewership are comprised, and this is exactly what the platform wants, by the way. I want a one-sided viewership. I want everybody to watch the TNN or the then and now media program. So what do we know? Even though they're not small now, and we will get for blame ourselves for starting late, but we know so you get for develop later, and even after of live, what you eventually get for happen is like a lot of people, thousands get for watch the program. But here's my point, and I want to make it quickly. You know, salon people, there are some of us who believe say that waiting happened a few weeks ago, waiting until they lived. Okay, exactly 1 month and 1 day ago, there was an historic occasion in Salon. In other words, we had an elections, presidential, local, and ward them or council elections them, whichever one categorize them. The outcome of the elections then it left Sierra Leonean people more divided going into the elections than coming out of the elections. What do I mean by this? There were already divisions of Sierra Leonean people. But when the elections don't happen and we come out of them, there is more division than togetherness upon the elections. Because of time constraint, I'm not going to belabor myself or try to explain that. But those are listening, I have no doubt that you understand fully well what exactly I mean by this. Now, the famulum. Some of us are going with the feeling that the president retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, win the elections. Even myself, when they talk to now, I congratulated the president-elect. The basis on which I congratulated the president-elect, now because the posting, there was an exercise conducted. That exercise, they also mean the emerging winner will be announced by the commissioner of the ECSL, constitutionally speaking. So when that process did happen, even though I had my doubts, just like many others, thousands, tens of thousands of others, but now so the process be entailed, say there will be a pronunciation as to the winner of that elections day. So the election commissioner, Mr. Mohamed Kone, come out and say that President Bio win the elections. Of course, many other voices for saying, no, this is not true. Among them voices there, the voice of voices of the international community in a different sense. Famule had for talk about the international community, not because of how most people in want to come say the international community, then this, then that, and compromise. No, that's not what I mean. How they talk about the intricacies of international law, international relations, the right of a government, so governments or countries that are independent, how for respect that independence day, how for walk them fine line and day without being accused of interfering in the domestic affairs of countries. It's a fine line for Waka. I'm not get much for talk today because this is going to be 30 minutes, 45 minutes, the most 1 hour conversation. Now, Famulem, Julius Malabio was declared as the winner of the June 24, 2023 elections. Most people don't agree. The evidence points say the president did not win an outright majority for confirm for organize the next government or lead the next government into whatever people may want to call them. He did not, according to overwhelming evidence. And since then, a lot of things are not happening, which I want to talk about briefly. Now, me, Salon people, there's a lot of people we believe say the protest them, demonstrations, we can interchangeably use them what they are. They get an impact, which I beg to disagree. Because waiting I do know, I'm following this, I get a little bit of understanding about this, is then protest their way Sierra Leonean people in the hold. It is very important, and the international community, they recognize these protests. Famulem, we cannot say that with the whole protest na the country, na foreign country them. Let's say, for example, in the last week or so, we don't hold, as they talk about, generally speaking, Sierra Leone and them, other people will disagree and want for apportion the people that when they demonstrate as belonging to something other than being Sierra Leonean. I disagree with this. I repeat, I disagree with this. Now, what me they understand is protest has been organized both now America, the United States of America, the United Kingdom, the UK, and then now we see say the protest in Europe spread beyond Europe itself. Also, endly now Brussels, the capital city of European MPs. In other words, a kind of a government or institution with very, very powerful will represent Europe. And Europe already get a lot for do with we country where we call Salon. Fambulem. Okay. Now pardon me quickly, please. Thank you very much for una understanding. So this protest the way Fambule on the hold, which according to my understanding, now a disagreement of the elections that were recently held. Say there is a section of Sierra Leoneans them will not agree with the conduct of the elections and the outcome. So therefore, waiting and decide for do, which is an age-old problem, now for demonstrate, for protest. Say we not agree. And the reason why they are doing this, according to my understanding again, is because within, when I say within, and they talk about domestically, so we come out, the country is Sierra Leone, there is a general feeling that we will not, and when I say we with a capital, that encompasses every one of us, that the one that when they protest, the one that we believe the right to protest are saying that they're not going to get any redress. Should they go to the courts of the country? And remember, say, Fambule, me don't advise you, una need for go to the courts of the country. But this is only my advice, and I'm only a single individual. When they get hammered from all sides. But this is not my advice. But yet, the one that when they conduct the exercises, they are say, we're not going that way. We need to go that way. We need to do what we feel say is right. So my understanding is they're not beginning a protest. They've held 3 protests. London, and then first of all, it began with the United States, where they had a protest, and then the United Kingdom, and then within the last 48, 72 hours, it was held in Brussels as the European capital. Now, Fambule, what I want for let we think about is the repercussions of them protest there. We get people them way. I mean, I know some very smart people we know say them protest there get impact. But still yet, then they try for sell this, not only them now, the general other side of this argument, because there are 2 sides to this argument, the All People's Congress and the Sierra Leonean People's Party. There is this conversation between the 2. I call them conversation, and now I call them like a rivalry between the 2, because rival is historic between the 2 sides. And in 2023, we the scholars them, they try to find a way on how we can refer to the conversation between them 2 sides there. But the most important thing is people then try for downplay the protest where these concerned Sierra Leoneans then hold. Now let's cut the chase. Let me cut the emotion. Because I certainly kind of think the way how certain people in want for go after this, now for label the people and say, oh, that's APC, oh, that's anti-government. But of course you can do that because you're at liberty for do that. There are 2 sides again to this. The question is it true what you say? Assuming that it's true, so we flip them back to the people and when they conduct their exercise there. What in do when they conduct the exercise there? But they say we're not satisfied with the way the elections was conducted. According to international community we can observe the elections, they are saying the manners, the conducts of the elections does not really reflect the will and the aspiration of the Sierra Leonean people. Now, family, and this is really serious. But, like I say, this program is a short program. And what I want to say at this point, the Julius Maada Bio government is really, really under pressure. I repeat, in lieu or in view of waiting all that happen right now, the government of retired Brigadier His Excellency Julius Maada Bio is under huge, huge pressure. You know, there are many ways that we can tell about the kind of pressure where they undergo either privately in life or on a governmental level na government circumstances. Now, we dey talk directly to the head of government, Julius Maada Bio. We could have been talking to minor people around government. But the point here is government has made it a point of duty that whenever they say something or whichever action they take, it's more government than only private individual. Hence why we they attach we caution direct to government. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe say the elections held about a month ago, the Julius Maada Bio government, which was accused heavily of not following the principles of democracy, of using henchman tactics that were not commensurate with the voting aspirations of the Sierra Leonean people, managed to hijack the elections for favor on. But the international community is saying that it doesn't stop there. We will continue to pursue you in different means. What do I mean by this? A lot of we compatriots them then think when we talk about the international community, and in fact, waiting then they expect now in them things say for play out. So because a lot of you out there not agree about the election results on how Maada Bio conduct them, and we think say and they can pull Maada Bio in a government suddenly, certainly. Not so it work at all. It doesn't really work that way. It takes time. But in terms of a frustrations, if I can call them as such, some people then feel say actions are demanded now and we want results now. Unfortunately, again, not so it work. Not so it work. So make I left this small and deal with the reality of the Julius Maada Bio government. And then maybe I will conclude on this point where I've been the pastor just now. Julius Maada Bio in government is having difficulty conducting the day-to-day affairs of the Sierra Leonean people. And I repeat, it's not like I'm naive enough not for believe say there are people who think say Prince what you talk so not correct or Julius Maada Bio in comment is going to prevail. It's not like I know which for let it prevail. I'm looking at reality. Me a pragmatist. I'm a pragmatist. I look at reality. My analysis is not based on emotion. It's based on the data we available. Now, it make the data we available. If it favor the ruling government, this is where and how my analysis is going to be. If it doesn't, exactly the same. Now, so my analysis could be. I really hope we understand this. So anyway, Maada Bio, for some reason, find himself at the helm of government in which the authorities that were responsible for declaring him as president of the republic did declare him as the winner of the June 24, 2023 elections. Well, this not go down with very many people. And I go use this analogy for another day. But here now, because we get time constraint, about an hour, waiting at the time now. Okay, I'll tell you the time shortly. Marabio, they inside serious trouble. I repeat, the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, they inside serious trouble. Now, why do I say this? You know what? The president himself is a very, very powerful man. And remember, we don't talk about this before, the laws of sovereignty. But at the same time, you are a signatory to many of the convention there, the rules there, the agenda and institutions there. This is the fine line that we need for understand. But equally saying this is the Madabio government, they try for impress on the Sierra Leone people or force on them something we call legitimacy. And for justify this legitimacy, they are saying, oh, una no say we're a sovereign country, nobody not supposed to can interfere. Give me a break. Did you hear me? Give me a break. It is true that we are sovereign and we will continue for remain sovereign. The laws of sovereignty, and it can be applicable only when it's been violated against you, because other than that, other people will come for standout. Another say advantages has not been taken in the past against others. Of course, certainly the case of Saddam Hussein of Iraq. That's 1990 and then 2003. Two periods in a major country as Iraq, with their own science base, their own culture, and what have you. Yet somebody else come out thousands of miles away, invade them, and try for change their mindset when they sleep, how them for sleep. This now other people and they can't tell people in the country where they do, where they sabi. How them for sleep, how much wife don't forget, how for sleep with them wife. Somebody they can't tell you how for sleep with them wife. This is really interesting. But this is true. It happened in Iraq. In Libya, same thing. Power dynamics. Come and tell Gaddafi, say, you are killing your own people, even though this was not true. But because they wanted Gaddafi out, many things were set up. This not to be called into it. But Salone, now very small country. Very, very small country. Of course, they have in their own in other people and your interest inside the country. And this time make it interesting because if Marabio they cater to the needs of the so-called international community, what they want, how they want them, when they want them, if they cater to that, Marabio is going nowhere. Nowhere. But having said this, we also need to understand, say, there are structures in place in which when there are violations, in as much as there can be bias, but actions has to be seen as taken. What do I mean by this? Marabiode in contravention of the international community rules-based system. We'll talk about democracy. And I repeat, Marabio is in breach of the rules-based system. And it's not like I agree with the rules-based system of opposed to run, because the rules-based system not a law way enshrined in something concrete, in something of substance, but rather the construct of certain nations of power. Now make them call them no law because there is a law. Then say the rules-based system, not the rules-based law. It's a matter of choice. Then he say so, say the rules-based law, or then decide for, say, the rules-based system. Who owns the system? Who do they run the system? And then same 3 to 6 so-called international country there, i.e. France, these United States, the United Kingdom of Britain and Ireland, France, Germany. Of course, you can get others where you can have one on the hierarchy than the. So you can go Holland, you can go Belgium. For example, Belgium, very tiny country where you can, I've been there a few times. You can walk out from one point to the other. But they are so important because why? For example, the European Parliament and capital, that they base. Well, I will left that again for another day because I can go on and on and on. But coming back to what you really talk, Fambulem, Marabio, they under huge, huge pressure. I repeat, Marabio, they under huge, huge pressure. Marabiona, the head of state of a sovereign republic, and then try for self-to sovereignty. And those of us who don't understand so tend for fall for that because to we, some of us, it look like say an advantage. Now other people and they try for take of we. Of course, the Marabio regime try for use that for play us against us in the international community. Which, of course, this is not the case. So I go back again for say, the Julius Marabio government, they under huge pressure. And also the supporters of the government, especially the ones when they support on the basis of condition, they support not with condition. It's like whatever anybody else say, it doesn't really matter. But Marabio is the one. Well, again, I beg for disagree, and I disagree on the basis say there are others, and we should respect these views. We actually oppose to those we agree, and then it become a fine argument for the pros and the cons. In this case, with the government, who are those that agree with the way our government they pursue policy or the way they go with agreements? And on the flip side, who are those who do not agree with the function of government, our government go before? Well, of course, the numbers of the latter is now really, really growing. It grows. Marabio, they inside serious pressure. I give an example some of the pressure where the party under. Because it's a big man, it's the president, so it's not like the Nigerian timeout. This is not the way it works because I don't see frustrations on the part of many of us, many followers them, where we talk about applying pressure or applying pressure basically. We feel say want them, then they can't pull up or say it doesn't work that way. And I also try for develop the issue about international relations and international law, i.e., the laws of sovereignty. What does it say? How is it applicable, especially to the conversation that we are having now? Because it's easy for the applicable. But I remind you again, Marabio, they under serious pressure. So when you get in people and they come and just dismiss things, then for just big fool we within that domain day. But in all, the president himself knows, in official them know, say there are pressures, there are demands. But let's make this simple. The protest that we get recently, then another one where people them we no appreciate the protest, which is something that you are entitled to. But the funny part about you not appreciating the protest, because you only oppose because of XYZ, is because you oppose because you feel say it's not going to work. You oppose because you feel say certain people will hijack this program that it could have been you. And I can go on and on. There. It really not stop there. But those of us that are existing now, where they watch the periphery of all waiting they happen, no say the Julius Maada Bio government is under huge pressure. Big pressure, Salon people. So what we can see on something the way they attend some press conference them, for me, and I can back that with evidence if anybody really need challenge that, maybe on another program because I need for end this soon, is the president, even though he's a big man, we enjoy many immunity, but at the same time, he is vulnerable. Let me take this analogy to the forest and the African forest for that matter. The African forest is a wild forest in which the brave and the will die. That's a fact. So I get the strong, but the strong get shade or get condition. Normally, they not get a condition and they, but once in a while we can see the wonderful story we can come out of the conversation there what they get. The opposition side, in other words, Madabio, when I say the opposition, now something that they try to talk about in which it depends on who side people stand. So opposition also that way they our family and go look them. Julius Maada Bio, they under huge pressure. So when I summon you for come, you get for listen. And you get for come. You they come. Family, nobody no go tell me say there have been 3 demonstrations in major European or Western capitals. Julius Maada Bio knows this. He knows this truly well, that these demos, this protest, they get impact. They do. They do. They're having an impact. Sometimes they not so immediate, which is what I want to believe, but certainly, why do I say so? The government of England, the United Kingdom and Ireland, they know they see down something happen at the capital. In other words, there's a tailored. You get demo, and then it just go blank. Nobody no respond. It doesn't work that way. In the United States of America, people then assemble. For people and for assemble, for occupy a certain land mass, yards and yards or kilometers of road or roads. This is of significance to a ruling authority. And in this case, the ruling authority is aware, and this is where the issue of permit come in. And I they say you necessarily get, for us, then the authorities know that you are out there today protesting. And as a matter of obligation, therefore provide security for you. And this has been happening lately, especially in Western Europe, where we can dismiss, like protest, or it go turn violent. We not even care for look, why do these protests turn violent? Do they turn violent at the how you call them? People that we don't want for any demonstration take place at all or the protest, then decide say we go make the protesters then look ugly. So at the behest of them, when the protests they take place, then can they violate the rules, knowing fully well that the protesters, i.e. demonstrators, will react. I remember say in we own space, government, it in government in position and advantage. I make government don't want to happen. But if government get for allowing for like happen, in this case, then go instigate or trigger something for happen. And when it happen, the demonstrators react and government say, this is what we were saying. And a lot of us, they go with that view they now, oh, protest, peacefulness alone. But this could be true. But have we ever questioned government? Have we? No, we haven't. But what I know is like government can help for instigate violence. I'm not accusing them that they've done, I just to tell you now the possibilities. You don't want to go demonstrate. You not be member for stone. No. But then when don't begin a demonstration, most of una not even take note. But along the way, stones are planted at strategic locations, junctions, or just generally location. So I find for people in a late and long day. And then when confusion happen, nobody not investigate why the confusion happen. Because when people then come out, they not come out for being violent. That's not for. Let me get that clear. But the violence, it is at the instigation or the behest, or some people in the come out for can instigate violence, the demo itself, regardless of the good faith, and say, this is what we are saying. Demonstrations in Sierra Leone are never devoid of violence, whereas that violence could have been perpetrated another. Family, when they come to the end of this program, the protests, them, in my opinion, lately, 3 protests, major protests, were a huge, huge success. I repeat, for effect, the protest against the Julius Maada Bio government, in other words, on the basis of the June 2023 elections, are actually really correct. And it is the right of people to do so. That the result where you publish to we just do not appreciate and hold this result. And then they do that only for being recalcitrant, for say, where we just not agree like how some people are going to do. I just not agree with you. No, it's on the basis of substance. They say no, the elections results does not reflect the will and the aspirations of the Sierra Leonean people. And this is backed by people in Wakan for can observe the elections. But normally the powers that be can just bulldoze or bullshit all of that said, which is really unfortunate, but that's the truth. So what we say now at this particular point in time is the 3 demonstrations held by people of valor, people of dignity and respect. And the reason why I lay the emphasis there is this notion by a certain class, and I believe that they get the inspiration from some side for push them, for denigrate people them, we exercise them right, say we're not satisfied with a particular system. Let me give or label them idlers, people them way they on the dole, people them way now they walk now take no more than they take from government. But of course, if I tolerate that, I know I will be next. Even though I'm a hardworking guy, I've been in this country for almost 2 decades, and I've been working since then. I'm not even going to go into that. They not equally accuse me. That's how stupid the conversation can become. But by whom? A lot of people, and we not get half a brain. Idiots. And when I say idiots, I mean idiots. I mean people that accuse me, say, me they got him up in a soup kitchen. But if me circumstances it warrant me for got him up in a soup kitchen because they aim an exercise of motorman now the basis of, but I haven't. I work. Since I come to this country, I think I get about 2 weeks or 3 weeks for relax. And from where I begin work 3 weeks into me coming into this country, I've never stopped working. I work up to this day. But then you get the people out there who want to smear you. Oh, and then they work. or na soup kitchen, for those of you who don't understand. Now also you dey go team up na line and then give you daily small canned food them for let you eat and survive that day. And you get people that actually will need that. And if people that need that, why will I go and join the queue for go take something of that? And even as I speak, people and they watch this program now will know definitely I am not into that. I'm a working class man. I've been working my ass off. But the point here is when you oppose people that we like, then one can use that for insult you. That does not drive me away because I've been doing this now for years. But the point here is Mother Biode under huge pressure. Let me give you a few examples before we close the show. Let me give you a few examples before I close the show. The few examples where I want to give you now before I close the show is the Julius Maada Bio government, some people will call a regime. It bastardized the international community big time. In PSYOP now the short form of psychological operation. Now because you're under pressure, so you try for proof, say, well, I don't really care for you. So you bastardize them, even though you take the money or then they fund projectary allocation for pay government officials. Is based on the generosity, on the charity of the outside world. So how then can you sit down and cost them? But of course you can do that because the idea behind this, you want play us. You want tell the domestic community, say, we not give a damn about them, and what have you. But at the same time, you they respect or you they try for respect the rules and guide basis when they provide for you. As we speak, Fambulem negotiations are I not get time for the international community. These people are thieves. They're not the international community. These people are thieves. These people are rogues. We are a prominent SLPP man in person of Dr. Julius Prince Harding. We come and the kind gaslight way a gaslight. But of course, only sycophants, proper idiots and fools then will follow that. Where he say right before the president in his speech. Well, I was born here. I wasn't born here, but I lived in England for 18 years. During that 18 years, I go school there, and anybody will go school there understand the psychology of the wit man. So he was trying to be dismissive of the wit man. And remember, say, Fambul and Prince Hardin, it's not new in terms of a political calendar. He's been there almost like forever. Under President Ijankaba, prior to President Ijankaba, he was a young activist. Under President Ijankaba, he was still young and very, very active. But remember, you are maturing up to Bakaba, up to Aneskoroma. This is like 10, 15, 20 years ago. If you were in your young or early 20s, and then 20 years don't elapse since then where you don't participate by all and things there, it means say you're in your 40s and 50s. These are ripe old ages in politics. Yes, you can do it in 60 years. There's not much if you don't form the direction they as to USA you get for go. So Prince Hadi make them statements, then he damned and called the foreign people, the international community, with man generally, names. That was really unfortunate. But these are the signs of desperate people because then they go against people and when they see, say, these people go come against we. Bear in mind that the decent law for defense is offense. not Waitland and can meet you in a defensive position where you defensive line, a tight, a light. Because if they penetrate, I don't know how many layers you get, but if they penetrate one layer of you, that means they are onto you. This is why the best defense is offense. You go on the offense, you push them away from you. But this was it. The Malabio government been there under immense pressure. So they act as if they don't get time for the international community, then dismiss them, then ridicule them. They were so condescending, so national community. But family, I want to bring this to Una as we talk. They are having a conversation. And the reason why, despite all this big talk about international community and we country is sovereign, we are free, we've got independence. But when did you get your independence as opposed to when you last take bursary or some form of loan or some form of help from them? When last was it? And I can tell you, probably just a week ago, is you can take the people their money and then you bluff the same population, including the one where they follow you, for say, well, look up, then just give me 40 million just now, then just give me 20 million just now. Give me a break. Not to you, the international community they give, and not to because they give you, means they deal with you. They get obligations, and those obligations, and they have to be satisfied. Unlike you or us, if I can generalize them, where we know say we get obligation, but we're ready for do a roadshow trick, like my good friend Imran Toure can call him, Imran T, roadshow trick, and then we make like say we not observe or recognize or respect anything else said by the other. But when it comes time for take the money, we are all happy for take the money. And we think say we're smart. No, that's not being smart, that's being big fool. It almost sound like Alpha Khan. Alpha Khan come out APC. He don't defend APC to the hills. I've said all these things. Any man with valor, any man with principle, any man with a sense of decency, either you shy away or if you take position, not to that position there, because it could be deliberate, say, then give the position only for can ridicule the APC. And this is not the APC where you've been defend before. How you they can't defend it now? It's not up on Sabi Toko. Because even Sabi talking left person. Because sometimes the Pago feel say it's still Sabi talk, they pull parabulem. But now you been a defend the other side. Now you then put you in a position for ridicule a side where you been a defend. You know whose kind of position you did so? And if you continue to do that, of course, you've accepted. You're not the dumbest fool. You're not the most idiot of all idiots. That's what you are. Because, in effect, the people that put you there, and they may likely be very smart. They put you there for provoke the people that you've been in support before. Because now what you they can do for defend the Julius Maada Bio regime against a regime where you've been in support and made so many public pronouncements, you are now coming to be making pronouncements where they run contrary to what you've been say when you've been in support the other. Are you serious, Alpha Khan? But when they come with you on program, they don't tell why they resist. I try one or two times, I got call and people and tell me, say, hey, it's like, no, but Diabo not do this now and one have you. And this goes back from the time where Alpha Khan go attend Bintu Money. I try to tell people then why. Why will Alpha Khan go Bintu Money? I mean, he get right as a Sierra Leonean, but we get right for scrutinizer as well. Why he go there? But like I say, there's a program coming specifically in which we try to analyze and try to analyze. It's a psychological operation, psyop, a mindset. That's what we're going to go into and look at all the circumstances leading to the 2018 elections, APC losing power, Bintu Money 3, and then in attendance, and also we fen Alpha can fen himself today. Family owner thinks it's about accident. No, it's not about accident. It's real. He plan them for saving skin. Within this justify is the inconsistencies and the dishonesty of Sierra Leonean politicians, them way fumble them. We, the ordinary folks, need to be for begin fan people them. We go really represent we interest, not these people. Same man will defend APC. Same man will defend APC. A government will come to power will say the APC was corrupt, hugely corrupt. Then do this, then do that, and we need a new direction. Who that the president will take as a spokesman? Now the man will be to defend the past regime, the past government. I mean, if you don't get it, then that means you think that you can't really understand that we are being played. We are being played. How much more will we, the people, allow us to be played by them people are waiting saying and they get the sense? Because people then certainly like Alpha Khan, feel say it still get poco sense, even at this old age, when he should have lived his lifetime. Don't go pass by, take a pension, enjoy your life with your grandpicking because you're still fortunate. Not to everybody fortunate in your realm, and in fact, probably most likely now it make you break away. So you been support this today, as power left them, and then you jump on the other, and then you think say you have been clever. No principle at all, no principle, and you continue for the talk. But I'm sure say where you lead on are you paid. Everybody is conscionable. We might not be able to accept we shortcomings in terms of the public, either because A, we don't understand them, or B, we just can't find the courage because we get different mission. And this is true of Alpha Khan. Now you been a champion and a personal friends, una eat granite in a pocket, finger pocket, and una do all of these games. And then you serve in senior capacity. And then now you are being pulled to the other just for mashed up the brains of Sierra Leoneans them. But I'm sure the Sierra Leoneans them, as slow as we can be, when they pick this up. It's not magic. Not to you wanging God blessed by 8 million people them. Yes, you be non come and you get a purpose for serve. But look at what you do. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you praised the government that was in power. Now you modus operandi this. The new government come to power, and then you don't go join them, and they made you presidential spokesman. And what you need for they do now as a presidential spokesman, now for they condemn a party where you been belong to. You not see the big fool when they make out of you. Don't you see that? And you get the option for opt out. Even if they force you, you say, okay, I want to do something different. But the selfishness and the greed will not permit you. But Fambul, and going back to Marabio, huge pressure. The demonstrations, the way people are on the hold, the supporters of the Julius Marabio government can try for dismiss these demonstrations. But you cannot demonstrate in European capitals. First, they give you permission for demonstrate, and then other people want to give impression say these demonstrations were not important, even though the people that give you them demonstrate. The idea that they give you the right for demonstrate means that they are interested in what you're demonstrating in. Why are you demonstrating? So then look into RAM. Does it has, it gets substance? Yes, it does. It gets substance. So then appreciate that, then hold them and say, okay, let me give them. Another thing we family need to understand is the largest concentration of the black community in the United Kingdom, I don't speak for America, but in the United Kingdom, is Southwark, and then the adjacent borough them, Lewisham, and I go think about the other one. But it's Southwark and Lewisham. I don't know why the other one slipped me mind, but the other one family when I help me at looking at the chat room, we also involve Borough. the heaviest concentration. And you had MPs, or still get MPs, like Harriet Harman. You get MPs like we go Calamity, but the most important one are Harriet Harman. And then you get Neil Coyle. Neil Coyle, the government of SLPP don't accuse them, say them biased, them false, and try for throw insults at them. But this is a British parliamentarians where they represent a constituency. And this constituency and its politics, if you want for let them elect you, then you get for play to the rules of these constituencies. In other words, waiting they want, waiting you constituency want. How can you please them? Part of this constituency and a large swath of this constituency are Sierra Leoneans. So hence why Neil Coyle gets so much interest here. Hence why Harriet gets so much interest. People can help them for elect them to power. The woman who is supposed to, you get for filling that gap there is also related to this bubble where they cast news now Sky News. Gamal Fambule, who they hope for bring kind of this platform. We also they hope for bring Lee Jasper. We all know Lee Jasper, the deputy mayor for racial affairs under Boris Johnson, and a lifelong activist on human rights, Black activism. Lee Jasper, they try for Brian Cam. Hopefully, he should be on this platform. We also get connection with few Sierra Leoneans. They try for establish connection with few Sierra Leoneans. Them way then that did them people them come here in the 1930s, in the 1940s. Some of them people them attended Durham University when they were affiliates of Rabe College, FBC. Then in the 1930s, the 1940s. So we might have a woman like Antoinette. She will be on the platform. We might have judges. Imagine, this is massive. People that we don't serve now the British judiciary. But then same people there, Fambule Bufuna no know, I want for Leona know. Now some of them they receive then democracy na Sierra Leone. Very powerful people, which is called lobbying, where some people then try for make like say this being them Samora Kamara go take 3 million from Qatar administration, Qatar monitoring group, or na Samora na take 3 million from. I don't even know which, but the nonsense on this is so stink that for Sierra Leoneans for believe this, because mind you, we get 2, if not 3 kind of Sierra Leoneans in this kind of conversations where they ongo. For example, you guys Sierra Leoneans we believe in the rubbish they say Jew, but now they help for manipulate the situation for them more myopic, and gullible Sierra Leoneans, they more and more buy into that. Let's say the Qatar example, monitoring of the elections. Suddenly, people give for petrol video or audio, or say bribery or new a national election should watch. Marcella Samba, we try to get to Marcella anyway, for see whether potentially maybe we're able for Brian Camp, because the woman need for can address Fambulem once and for all. But we know say it's deliberate. They try for mesh in name with new in a scandalous way. Kata Center new, or 3 million, or Marcella, hundreds of thousands, and what have you. Loads of rubbish. Rubbish. And some people, they actually believe this. But to we believe this, the first question is, how many observer missions were sent to Sierra Leone, or we observe the Sierra Leonean elections from different backgrounds? Remember, say we get Irish aid from the Ireland government, we get the EU from 26 different countries, others the United Nations, and then we get ECOWAS, we get AU, and things like that. Over a dozen of them Now, the $1 million question or submission, how then will the Carter Center be able to make a decision as to own a runoff na in they want? Just because Marcella say with the projection on we own result where we they look at, it point to, remember say, sampling can come in terms of research with something not conclusive. So that's what she was intimating at the time. Okay? That's what she was intimating at the time. And then suddenly she's now guilty of having taken bribe. But assuming for hypothetical reasons, say it take bribe from the Carter Center. So if there were 10 or over a dozen other organizations that we can observe with elections, are we saying that the Carter Center they're so extra? Now then get the responsibility for decide whether they win the elections or the direction in which the election results supposed to go. In other words, to Marcella Samba. What a load of rubbish. And I shocked at some people in Wasabi where they expect say for no more. Or all the other organizations and decide for collaborate or for listen to Carter Center no more. They don't get stake. Oh. Anyway, food for thought. When I go think about that. Yeah. Because some people believe and some people na the same propaganda just for distract. But some people actually swallow it, hook, line, and sinker. Say not true. They not even think say, but the Carter Center, not to them one no more. They got other organization. Them. How come now owner this Carter Center and they dictate waiting for B? Marcella Samba is this powerful figure. You know, don't go take $200,000 from Carter Center. But now let me stop this joke, this cheap joke. Let will not become the laughing stock of the international community. But moving forward, you know, we can hold demonstrations na America, London, and finally Brussels. I don't know whether other demonstrations and they come. And then one pretend if these protests not get no impact. You cannot be serious. They do have impact. They do. Because first of all, for like you imagine on the streets of London, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Brussels, you will have sought permission. And that permission, you state your case as to why you want for march. And if the case get gravitas, it get substance, then they will grant you the permission for let you march. Now, taking them, you're contextually speaking, that the people understand, say, well, this is why we are granting them. This is their application. This is why we are granting them the right to march. And owing to the fact that they are members of a member of which we are members of. And then one believes, say, the people are not interested. That then just allow them for march and then laugh. Are you serious? Malabio is under huge pressure. And anytime the international community get obligations, for keep the nature of governing, intact. This is why when you violate the principles of multi-democracy and they hold you do not mean say then they back out away from you suddenly, just like you have become nuclear, that you cannot be touched, nobody can go closer to you. No, they get obligations. Because if they move away all the assets, for example, a government might likely collapse, and the same chaos that they are trying to avoid will be there. But Fambulem, take this from me, these demonstrations are having effect. Fambulem, you get one them we go. I need to see the comments now because I'm not looking at it. I'm not in the proper studio we are able to monitor this, that will not care, and not to this, they happen. No, that's not true. The president, they're under huge pressure for the same reasons that which I've just given. When I call an aya, now for example, when I invite them, let me not use that as an excuse. Oh, I'm saying, yeah, Marabio, this, that, and what have you. Look up the UN Secretary General call him. But let me raise with him and let me try to understand. Of course, why the UN Secretary General not go call the sitting head of state? Who the else if I call? If I go call Samoa, Samoa is not the sitting head of state. It's Marabio. Even though the circumstances are questionable, this is where diplomacy comes in. This is where rapprochement comes in, talking, engagement. This is where engagement comes in, which is what they are doing. And every time they bring Marabio, they put an order pressure. The one day when they listen to this story, when they inside State House, within a lodge, know exactly. Because they're familiar with the story that the president is under pressure. He may not care because he knew what was coming. But then that means there are hard times coming for this. So for finally answer the question before we close the program, on the flyer it said, will Marabio go unpunished? The answer to me simply is no. He will not go unpunished. He will be punished. And he's been punished now. Because every time there's a phone call, what's going on? Will you fill us in? Give us updates. What is happening? It's happening. It's not truth. I want to get for international relations and expect and understand the recognition and respect for territorial boundary obligations. I respect that greatly. I don't want nobody, kind of play with that. But because we are signatories, no country is an island. Let us not pretend. And thinking that, well, okay, it's Britain and then they give me hard time for me power. So what I go do, I think I will go Turkey or this new development of China, Russia, the Eastern Bloc. But of course, the president get the prerogative, he get the obligation for how strong he is, how he go able to accomplish that. Family, we get the Chinese people and they can't talk to it tomorrow. In other words, we sister and brother and when they study in China, we then get Boku story for can tell we then go there on the platform tomorrow. Tomorrow, okay. Yeah, tomorrow, and not 12 o'clock yet. They'll be on the platform tomorrow. So we'll not forget for tuning. We're not able to show the contribution because it's an interactive platform. We're not able to show the contribution of the one that we through messages and what have you. Wanna forgive we for that. It was just a quick broadcast because we run late. But Fambulem, Marabio, they're under huge, huge pressure. It's not easy for them. Now, how we take them? They can decide for be stubborn, recalcitrant. When we think say that's what's going to be. Because if you anticipate all waiting they can happen so, and decide say, well, this is the way they go. But there is a law of, I don't know which law is that. Una spare me 1 minute, please. Yeah. So what's happening? At the live, I will call you. I'll talk to you. Yeah, at the end of the program soon. All right, then. Take care. Okay, family. I'm really sorry about that. But just for just for end this program, um, no nation is an island. No nation is an island. We are signatories to many conventions, but the conventions also recognize statehood, national boundaries, independence, and you name it. But now things will play on both sides. The idea that you sign in into something means that you have to respect that. I.e., for example, before the June 24, 2023 elections, the president was all over the place signing in agreements with the international community because of an inclusivity in terms of with democracy, respecting the pillars of democracy, the rule of law, for example, that has to be respected. Multi-party democracy, participation, stop hijacking the institutions of government for use them to you know, things like that. So they were, why did he do that? Remember, the reason why I decide this, there was the Commonwealth, for example. There are obligations to the Commonwealth. There are obligations to the United Nations. There are obligations to the African Union. There are obligations to ECOWAS. And I know they say these organizations cannot be hypocritical, but the idea is when I use that phraseology where I say, no country is an island. So we are part and parcel of something. And for let you be a part and parcel of something means that you sign up to something. And if you sign up to something, then you get for respect which you sign up to and act accordingly. Not to only way not suit you, and then you begin for disgrace them. But in this same thing, I even think is the government is playing a two-handed game. Then they tell their supporters, waiting and things, say their supporter one for a. In other words, that strong man position, oh, we get we independence and what have you, we're not going to take this, nobody is going to dictate to us and etc. Whereas at the same time, they understand the international obligations because we are a donor economy. If people in the Kiwi, and I don't make that example there many a times, now you host, now you feed, you picking them can become strong-headed. But because now you get for feed them, just like you dog, just like you puss if you get animals, then just like you pigeon, like how when they grow up, when they get pigeon them as pets, get the lily also we build for them at the side of the place. They depend on you for feeding, especially animals. If you can't feed them, then they go outside, they will be fed. This is why a dog, if your kitchen don't get smell, if they go now the next neighbor kitchen, we get smell. Same thing apply to you picking them. So we are a donor economy. Now people in the Giwi, sorry for we and Giwi. So we can make like say we tough and what have you, and this not the impression what I think say the president try for Giwi, fumble them, we are tough and what. Not lie. They are in conversation with the same international community. And when I say being in conversation with the international community, it's not like the international community does not respect the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone, but the impression, because they are obligated to certain things, and you have to keep by them obligation in it. Okay? But the government would like to give we ordinary people the impression as if all is well. And in fact, now we they in charge. When they allow nobody for and to tenant and what have you, the loss of sovereignty of our land. But then behind you go take 20 million. Then they shame self the 20 million, you go announce them. Well, I mean, they be saying people are no respect, they just give we 20 million just now. Both salon people and we think. Salon people and we think. For end this program, here is it. Marabio, they're under huge pressure. The demonstrations will take place in the United States, the United Kingdom, And then this most recent of them all in Brussels is having a huge impact. I go repeat again because I say something like that. I'll try to explain them earlier on. Before you demonstrate, a permission will have to be given to you. Say, well, yes, you can go ahead with that. Before the permission is given to you, you will have tailored. You get people that when a fine writer them we know how to put the case across on waiting at the situation. Why do you people want to demonstrate? What are you demonstrating about, against, for, or whatever? That is what the organizers of the demo will have put forward to the authorities. And they say, okay, yes, you can go ahead. In this case, what are they demonstrating about? The rule of law, the trashing of democracy, contesting the elections results, which many people feel it wasn't fair and open, including the international community who went to observe. So the people are only playing their role exactly as to outside the international community want them. So when you read government circle of government people in the talk, and then why they don't like the country, then just they stain the country and they tarnish the country. How have they done that? We know we don't see demonstrations them in which people in whole placard they show women that were abused. With mama and Bobby they not do. They show blood. But then people want to say, oh, that was false. And what have you know that wasn't false, that was true. We know say the HQ of the All People's Congress, the opposition party, was attacked about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It was funny when Cornelius Devo was running. Most SLPP people make fun out of that. But when it comes to the demonstration on something will happen in which people were kettle, then call them kettle. In other words, you push a large group of people, a crowd, into a contained space with limited ability, and you unleash violence on them. What do you expect? There's going to be injuries, most likely death, wounds, which will imply blood. But then it was funny then. And then people in there use them placard now. And then you say, oh, they are trying to tarnish the reputation of the country because they are not patriotic. In the first place, who wasn't patriotic when you unleash violence on these people and unarmed people? So then demonstration there, they are having an impact. The international community is listening. And hence we ask the question, will Mother Bio go free? And we believe, say the answer is no. Mother Bio is not going to go free. Not going to go free does not mean that he will be plucked out of his seat or immediate action. No. But let's watch what's coming. Family, we did on again tomorrow. I think say it don't go past 12 now, yes. It don't go past 12. So we did on again today. Sekou John will be hosting a number of students from China, and we're waiting and they say. This now the TNN TV media empire, and we want to bring this particular program to an end, and we're glad for the one that we turn up. Please let we share. Please let we like. We cannot have 5, 10, 15, 20,000, 50,000 viewers them, and then we get only 50 likes, 100 likes. Please, I'm appealing to you. Just like. If you don't like, of course you can dislike. Feel free for dislike. But if you like the video, I know say most people like the broadcast, please give we, the thumbs up sign, now the like sign. Click on the sign. In behind, I have been your host and presenter, Prince Emil Kroma. Can I take your leave for now? Goodbye. Tada. before I left for now, we expect high-profile guests them on the platform in the coming weeks. Lee Jasper, the former deputy mayor to Boris Johnson, with a hope for host along with a former George inside Britain, George Herbert, with a hope for Hostam. There are many things happening, and there are collaborations between within the happen now, in terms of protest and galvanizing the British public through potentially people of relevance. In other words, inside the political domain. Not only Neil Coyle, Harriet Tubman, former George Herbert, how you call him, Lee Jasper, and with the hope for hosting people there. But for now, I think say this is it. And I want to say thank you to the TNN TV Media Empire family. As we get them, that's what we're going to give now. But for now, this is it. And cannot take your good night for now. Love you so much, Sierra Leoneans. Be truthful, be straightforward, search for the truth because it is there. Do unto others as you will have others to do unto you. And on this basis, goodbye for now.